Welcome to the channel. I'm Biscuits and this is Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Today we are working on a Hinata Moon. I think that's how you say it. Hinata Moon Mark 1. This is car number 4, I believe, from the story mode. And let's get into it. Hello, I saw that you've got quite good reviews and I thought I would surely handle my problem. I've been to a few experts already. The things that each expert said and didn't match up at all. Of course, the problem is still there. It boils down to the consistent banging, or constant banging. It's unbearable and the gearbox isn't working properly after the last repair. After a week, changing gear became a nightmare. Please check it and try to fix any problems. I'm counting on your honesty. It's the last chance for my car. If this doesn't do the trick, I'll have no other option but to get rid of it. Anyway, let me know. Alright, so we have a lot of parts not discovered and an oil change. Alright, we will get her onto the hoist. Alright, so about now is where we're going to need to start buying extra tools. So we might just go and do that right now. Alright, we can add a few of these. Oh, that's it. Alright, so we're going to need... We're going to get the tablet because it makes life so much easier. A scan tool. Fuel pressure gauge. Multimeter. Alright, my keyboard's decided to stop working. Compression tester. Not going to worry about the thread depth. The tire depth, sorry. Not going to worry about the battery charger. We're not going to worry about the welder just yet because we only have $5,900 and that's going to cost us $5,000. Okay, so that's that. Let's get her on the hoist and start looking at it. Alright, so we have... Alright, straight off the bat, we're going to need 2 coils by the looks of it. So we will pull all the coils. We're going to pull the whole top of the motor off. Just to see what we need. Probably going to need cams and stuff like that. Looks like we're going to need 4 spark plugs, or at least 3. Oh, that one's alright. These ones are all need replacing, so we need 3 spark plugs. Definitely need a cam. But we need a couple of cam pull, or maybe 1 cam pulley. As we pull this all apart, it'll all appear in the list of stuff that needs doing, so we can just go through it there and see if there's anything else. Alright, start pulling the cam caps off. Alright, so we'll see if we can actually see inside the engine here. We should be able to see our pistons. We're still in the head. There's the pistons. Looks like we're going to need that piston. Alright, so we're going to need to pull the sump off, which we've got to pull the oil out anyway. Okay, we'll check the air filter. Air filter looks good, but pull it out just in case. Oh, we might go through and get our new tools out. We'll run the scan tool. Then we will run our multimeter. Probably should have run the compression tester and fuel pressure tester before we pulled the top of the motor apart, but there's nothing there that we can't see anyway. Alright, so we definitely need a drive shaft. So let's send her up. And we'll start pulling it apart. Didn't really need to take the brakes off, but it was worth. I think this bearing looks like it's had it. Yep, the bearing needed doing. So that's another thing found. Sway bar definitely needs doing. All right, looks like this. Oh no, that's the that's still the other drive shaft. That bearing, I think that bearing's done too. Yep. Pull the sway bar link out. Then we can get the sway bar out. And we can get the drive shaft out as well. Alright, let's see if we can see inside the gearbox. So, if we hit the engine, nope. Turbo maybe? There we go. Alright, so... Oh, we've got rust here. So, that's the clutch. So, the gearbox has got to come out. We've got to put the starter motor off. And we've got to bring the car down to pull the starter motor off. Alright. Let's drain the engine first, because we're going to need to pull pistons as well. So bring the oil drain over and drop the oil. Take the filter off. And the oil pan. Alright, just to double check before we go too far into it. Yeah, we definitely need, looks like 3 pistons, 3 caps, and 3 big end caps, and then 3 main bearing caps. But we're going to need a flywheel as well. Oh no, there's only 2 pistons, but 3 caps. Alright, so we'll pull these off. think that one was okay. Spin around and have a look. Yep, that piston's okay. So we'll leave that one connected. And we've got to move that out of the way first. And we'll bring the car down. All right, so the head's got to come off. So we've got to take all this off. All right, now that we got the tablet, it makes it a lot easier to order parts. So we will go in and we'll start putting this back together as we go. All right, so we need 2 pistons. We'll order all the parts as we go. All right, so we open up a quick wheel. There's the tablet. So we want 2 pistons. We want 3 crank caps, 3 rod caps. That was only 2. Only 2 wheel bearings. Front sway bar. Drive shaft. Camshaft. Cam gear. 2 spark plugs. Nope, they're in a different section. Timing chain. Coils are in a different section, and 1 rubber bush. Alright, so that's the parts we need so far. We'll just quickly get the other stuff. 2 spark plugs. And 2 ignition coils. Alright, so we've got the stuff to start putting the engine back together. So, we will do that as we go. So we can put the new pistons in. And then the head back on. New cam goes there. Old cam goes there. So we'll assemble this and get back into it. Alright, so I wasn't sure what spark plugs we got, so we will go into the car status and we will highlight the spark plugs. So that one and that one. That way we know which ones to put the new ones, or which holes to put the new ones in, which is these 2. And we'll do the same for the ignition coils, since we're not replacing them all. If you put them in the wrong spot, it just won't allow the game to... It won't allow the... it won't tick off in your list. Alright, we'll continue putting all the parts on. And get the top end all put back together, because we're pretty much done here. And then we'll move on to the pulling the gearbox out and the underbody of the car. Alright, so that's the top end done. We'll send it back up on the hoist and pull the gearbox out. We'll run around this side and get the gearbox. We need to do at least the clutch, I believe. It looked like there were springs in there, so it looks like we need to do at least the clutch plate, but I might have to do the flywheel as well. Yeah, so the clutch plate definitely is at it, and so's the flywheel. So we'll go back into our inventory. We'll organise these parts. That's a different car. Don't know why I've scrolled down so far. Alright, so we need that and that. So we will buy those. They are in normal car parts. One flywheel, one clutch plate. And we'll reassemble it here, where the gearbox can go back in and we can keep moving on. Alright, gearbox is back in, so we can put the drive shaft back in, because we've already got the new one. We need to put wheel bearings in, so we'll put those in. And the outer drive shafts, which, I mean, I've always referred to as a CV shaft, but they don't have to be. There's the sway bar there. So we need to put a sway bar in, and then the sway bar links. Alright, so this tyre can go... And we won't put the tyres back on yet, because we may need to do bushes as well. So what we'll do is, I think we've got an oil filter. No, we don't. We will go under and put the caps on. Since we've got all the pistons back in. Needed to replace all the main caps and 3 of the big end caps. Alright, there's a lot of visual inspection in here, so we will, once I've got these caps and the sump back on, we will go through and visually inspect all the bushes, see if we can see which ones need replacing, because I know there's going to be some. I dare say alright, so we can see that bush needs doing. I'm still in assemble mode. Take this bush out. 7%. Let's have a look at this one. That one looks bad too. Take that one out. Yep, definitely bad, that one. But we might need 4 of them. That one's not looking real good from the distance. Nope, that one's bad as well. Alright, so we've got 4 bushes there. That bush looks okay. Can we see the other side? We can't see the other side. Alright, let's take the arm out and see what it shows us. Alright, so those bushes were okay, so we'll put that arm straight back in. That way we don't get it mixed up with other stuff. No, we don't want to put a new bush in. Since there weren't new bushes in there. Guess I must have ordered some stuff for extra stuff for the last car. Alright, let's pull this arm because it's going to be the same. But can't see that other bush. So we'll just check it. And those bushes are all good too. Reassemble. We'll put this wheel bearing in and then put this side all back together. Put the brakes back together because we didn't need to pull those apart in the first place. And the sway bar link. Alright, so the wheel can go back on now because we've checked everything and there's nothing else there that needs doing. We'll put this wheel back on as well. Alright, let's order some parts. We'll get these bushes. So I've already got 1 in stock. So we just get 3. Alright, let's put these back in. Put the oil filter on the list because I keep forgetting to order it. Alright, so let's just quickly get an oil filter because that only takes a second. And we put that on. Alright, starter motor goes in from up top. Let's move down the back. What do we got down here? Alright, so we can see straight away that we're going to need this bush. We're going to need a sway bar. Let's take the wheels off, just so we can go thoroughly. We'll check out the brakes. Brakes look fine. That hub, maybe not. That bearing looks okay. That's on the brake rotor, that's okay. What do we got here? Is that bush? That bush needs doing. We'll take the sway bar link off. That bush is fine. That bush looks fine. Check the fuel pump. Fuel pump's fine. We'll take the this tire off. And the sway bar link so we can take the sway bar out. Those bushes up top look fine. There's the sway bar, that definitely needed doing, and this bush here needs doing. So we might be all the bushes in the back. Yep, that one needs doing as well. Just check this last one. And yeah, okay. So we'll have a quick look at the list and see how many more parts we're missing. One. We're missing one more part. Alright, so we haven't checked the wheel bearing this side. So we'll do that. Oh no, it's right here. It's that bush there. So we don't even need to check the wheel bearing because we've now got all the parts. Alright, so that is everything. Alright, we will go into our inventory and organise these parts. I think I'm going to order too many of those, so we need 4, 5, 6 of them. 6 of them and a sway bar. Alright, so rubber bushings by 6. And a rear sway bar. Alright, we'll quickly put all this back together. And then we need to put oil in the back in the engine. And we're done. Oh, and the starter motor. Can't forget the starter motor. I'm good at forgetting starter motors. Alright, before we come down, we'll just double check the list, make sure we've got everything there. Yep, it's looks like it's all done. And we are. Alright, so we'll bring the car down. We still got to put the starter motor back in and oil. Alright, so we'll put the starter motor in first. refill the oil. Okay, and we're all done. So here's the list. We've got cam gear A, camshaft, clutch plate, 3 crankshaft bearings, bearing caps, a flywheel, front drive shaft, front sway bar, 2 ignition coils, 2 pistons, a rear sway bar, 3 rod caps, and a heap of rubber bushings. Then we've got 2 spark plugs, timing chain, and 2 bearings, 2 wheel bearings. All right, as well as the change the engine oil. All right, so that is that job finished. It is car number 4, the Hinata Moon Mark 1, and we're done.